Hey YouTube, it's Brandon. Last Monday, I put out a video on all my social media about my wanting to do my first Q&A video, and I actually got some questions back. Granted, they're from a lot of close friends, but you know, it's okay. I'm okay with that. So I have 5 questions from 4 different people I'm going to be reading to you today, and I'm going to answer them in this video. You will see those questions over here on the side of the screen, and let's get rolling. The first question comes from my best friend from high school, Zaman, and his question is, what's your favorite bass guitar and why? I've played a lot of different basses in my time on this earth, but none of them have done as much for me playing comfortably and playing as how I want to as my current Yamaha 4-string bass that I'll show it right here. I've been working with this bass for only less than a year, but it's been my go-to bass ever since, and I really enjoyed it because the it feels nice to hold. It plays very nicely. With the addition of the Hipshot D-tuner on it, I am able to go from standard E to drop D at the drop of a dime, and I find that really convenient to do, and that bass has done a lot for me, whether it be playing with other musicians or just playing for YouTube. Works out really well, and I do really like that bass. The next question I have for you comes from one of my best buddies from college, Eddie. He's asking, what's your favorite song to play on bass? I'll give you the immediate answer to that. It is a song called Marry Me by No Doubt. That song it's got a lot of moving pieces on the bass line. Once you get the bass line down, it's really fun to do because you're like, and you're flying all over the fingerboard. I usually use that as a warm-up song when I'm getting ready to practice for a day. It's not a boring bass line. I kind of like to play things that change it up a little bit every now and then in the song, but that Marry Me song is way all over the place, and I like doing it. Another one of my best buddies from college, Caleb, he's asking, how's the quality on the wireless receiver? Any trade-offs versus wired? I didn't put this up on YouTube, but on my other social media, I am in possession now of an X-Vive wireless guitar system. It's a really great system. It's rechargeable, which is a major plus. It doesn't, eat through batteries like crazy like some other wireless systems do. I get really no sort of tone interruptions at all when playing on the transmitter. I usually have the transmitter plugged into my bass and the receiver plugged into the pedal board, and it works out just fine. I can get a 100 feet of range with playing, and then once I get out of the house and make my way kind of halfway out the driveway, then the sound starts cutting out, and that's how I know when to do it. I have yet to try it in a large kind of stage setting. There is an event I'm kind of working on right now that I will be able to use that with, and I'm really looking forward to that. So that's exciting. Another good thing about the wireless system is that I'm not on a cord leash, and that's very nice. Like lately, I've gotten used to playing in the house, just walking around the house and playing. Like I'll walk upstairs, my head and cab are downstairs, and I just walk up the stairs to go get a little snack, and I'm still playing because I can hear the notes, and my parents are like, that's weird. Stop doing that, it's weird. It's just fun, it's a fun thing to do. Again, I am looking forward to trying it in a stage setting. I just have to, mark at some point where 100 feet is gonna get me in this setting, and then I'm gonna try and mark it off with some sort of cone or other object I can place there so that I can, see how far I can go and rock out, or walk in with a crowd and rock out. The only drawback I really have to say about that system is that on my 2 basses that have active electronics, both of my Yamaha basses, there's this constant buzzing, no, not buzz, this kind of like sound that I keep getting through my active electronics basses, and I kind of haven't figured out what is going on with that. So I'm going to be working heavily to figure that out, because it's not the most annoying thing in the world. It's just kind of like, oh, it does this whenever I play. Now keep in mind, I have a noise gate on my pedal board, and it doesn't stop the whining from the transmitter even when I'm not playing, unless I have the noise gate cranked up to about 11 o'clock. on the dial switch. Okay, so my fourth and fifth questions are coming from Daria from up in Vancouver, Canada land. So here are the two I've got. What inspired you to play the bass? And two, if you had to restrict yourself to listen to one band or artist's discography for the rest of your life, who would it be? To answer that first question, prior to playing bass, I was listening to the band The Police heavy. I was listening to them all the time, and I was only able to learn 2 songs on the 6-string guitar because I started out on 6-string guitar and then made the move to bass. I only could play Roxanne and Can't Stand Losing You by The Police, and I would always hear in the song, I'd hear Sting's bass lines, and I was like, this sounds much better than guitar. And not to knock Andy Summers, but I wanted to do that, and so I went and got my first bass the day after my sister's birthday in 2009. So that was September of 2009. I started playing the bass and I was like, I really like this. This feels more comfortable in my hands than a 6-string guitar. I feel like I can play this easier. I don't feel I'd be up against too much competition in a high school system where, trying to get into a band. And I wasn't, because my freshman year of high school, I was taken in as the electric bassist on this school jazz band, and that's how I got, towards performing well. But when I started, digging deep into Sting's bass lines, I really found that it was something I really enjoyed listening to, and I was like, I really want to play that, so I can listen to myself play it, compare it to Sting, see what else I can make changes on, and yeah, that's how Sting got me into playing bass, so shout out to Sting. To answer the second question, if I had to pick one band that I'd have to listen to the rest of my life, no one else, again, to kind of piggyback off the last question, I'd listen to The Police. That band is the root of all my musical adventures. That's where I would want my ears to be listening to if I could only listen to one artist the rest of my life. Okay, so that's gonna wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope my answers were satisfactory for those of you who did ask questions. And I look forward to doing another one of these again. I don't know how successful it'll be. I kind of had to be like, hey, anyone want to ask me a question? But you do what you do. Hope you have a great rest of your day. Cheers.